Hey guys, it's Esteban again with Incognitistic. Today I'm going to talk about the safety when approaching law enforcement or any sort of authority figure while being autistic. And obviously, there's different levels in the spectrum of being able to engage anybody when it comes to being autistic. And so this would be more appropriate for people who are on the ASD-1 category according to the DSM-5. So for me, having been a police officer, I dealt with a lot of scenarios where I wouldn't really know what I was walking into except for a very small blurb on the computer and maybe something that the dispatcher relayed to me on the radio. So this was a little puzzle that my mind would race to try to get as much information for on the way to the scene. And I actually had gone to multiple scenes where there was people who were neurodivergent as part of the active investigation. And so one of the best things that somebody did when they approached me was to let me know straight away that they're autistic, they're very nervous, and they didn't know how to react. And luckily, I was trained in responding to emergencies that involved people who were autistic. And I understood, that this person may go into a meltdown or a shutdown. I understood why they weren't making eye contact with me. I understood why they were messing around with their hands. All these things are very crucial for law enforcement because the hands are what kills. And we're trained like that the whole time to look at the hands. So if the hands go in the pocket, there's probably a weapon there. If the hands go into the waistband, there's probably a weapon there. If it goes into the shirt, there's probably a weapon there. That's just how we're trained. And we're not trained to immediately draw our firearm and address it like it's deadly force. However, it does give us a little sense of suspicion and raises the hairs in the back of our neck. So when approaching us, or us, like I'm not retired, when approaching law enforcement, just try to be as relaxed as possible. I know it's very difficult. If you have to stim with your hands, that's fine. But if possible, just be explanatory about yourself and your condition, who you are. And the officer should be receptive to that. Most agencies today get some sort of semblance of training for experiencing scenarios with people who are autistic, and it's part of their dealing with their basic training through the academy and above that. So most people, most officers should be understanding. Now, obviously, if the officer is engaged in a dynamic situation where they're dealing with a threat and you approach them, that is probably not the best thing to do. Unless you have some sort of exigent situation or information that you want to relay to the officer, it's probably best to wait until they're done dealing with the dynamic situation before you go and engage them. And also remember that if the officer speaks to you unkindly or brushes you off, you always have the option to ask for a supervisor. And that's okay. It might be that the officer is having a bad day or that the officer is not trained well. or the officer needs to be weeded out. Whatever the case may be, it's just going to the next level. And most supervisors will take everything into account, especially what you're saying. So I'm not saying that you have to file a complaint, but you can very well address a concern. And perhaps you'll be able to get help with whatever exigent need you have during an emergency situation if for some reason the officer is not able to or refuses to help you. Anyhow, I'm going to do a series of different videos on law enforcement, and I'm grateful for the suggestion. Thank you very much. And if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them. Any questions, any ideas about different videos that you would like to see uploaded about interacting with the police department. And I'm also going to do some about why it's a great job for some neurodivergent people. All right, well, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching. Take care.